Is Andrea Brower, and I teach in the environmental studies, the sociology, and the Department of Leadership Studies at Gonzaga. I am an activist scholar, born and raised and rooted especially in Hawaii, and increasingly the Pacific Northwest. Climate change is already displacing people, destroying livelihoods, killing people, and killing other species, and we are on a fast trajectory for things getting much, much worse. So the world's leading climate scientists have said that keeping warming below 1.5 degrees is our best chance of avoiding catastrophic climate unraveling, and that getting there is going to require cutting global emissions nearly in half within the next 10 years and getting to net zero carbon by 2050. This is not an impossibility, but it will require, and I quote from the IPCC, rapid, far-reaching, and unprecedented change in all aspects of society. Rapid, far-reaching, and unprecedented change in all aspects of society. So what does this mean specifically? At a societal level, this means investing in public infrastructure to meet 100% of our power demand through clean and renewable sources. It means investing in green public transit, investing in making buildings efficient, investing in ecosystem restoration, investing in healthy, resilient, sustainable, and decarbonizing agriculture, investing in well-paid jobs to deliver all of these goods, especially investing in communities on the front lines of environmental destruction, and investing in the ecological debt that the US, the largest historical contributor of climate change, owes the global South. At a societal level, all of this also means investing in the care economy: healthcare, education, childcare, public housing, libraries, sports fields, public spaces, and public play even. As we invest, we need to also divest. We need to divest from the extraction and exploitation economy. We need to divest from fossil fuels yesterday. We need to divest from industrialized corporate agribusiness that feeds cars and cows instead of people. We need to divest, or rather dismantle, hyper-consumptive capitalism that radically manipulates human needs. We need to divest from the luxury consumption of the elite and a system that allows them to accumulate absurd amounts of wealth while billions are deprived of even their very basic needs. At an institutional level, contributing to keeping below 1.5 degrees means the only moral option, and the only option consistent with Gonzaga's social justice mission, is to divest, i.e. to stop using money to make more money from the fossil fuel industry. Gonzaga has been shamefully unresponsive to student demands that the institution stop putting its dollars in places that profit from the burning of our common home. In this, it has not only been complacent, but participatory in hastening catastrophic climate unraveling.
You know, this divestment movement is really centered around universities and academic institutions. Specifically about universities, what do you think maybe makes that situation unique and creates a unique potential for impact on this issue?
I think universities, because at least in theory, they're supposed to be centers of critical thought and education and questioning dogmas and questioning what is and thinking outside of the boxes and thinking about the actual possibility of change. Universities are frequently, for that reason, spaces where new ideas emerge, and frequently spaces where activism that challenges the status quo emerges. And because universities are also frequently places with younger people who aren't so trained into thinking in very narrow ways as those of us who, as we get older, are, I think that's another reason that this kind of creative and you could even call it radical, being just meaning like at the root kind of thinking, starts to emerge from within universities quite often. So I think this kind of divestment movement starting in universities is just the beginning of that movement that will push other institutions to do the same. And if it's going to be an effective strategy, it absolutely can't stop with universities, right? That's a dead end. So the whole point is to push wider social change.
What do you think, after being at Gonzaga for a small amount of time, what do you think is unique about Gonzaga and in the context of Spokane, and why divestment from a big entity like Gonzaga would be something big for Eastern Washington.
As one of the kind of like larger universities and educational institutions in the entire kind of region, then it almost has a unique responsibility to contribute to thinking about like social change, to dealing with some of our larger social problems. And of course, in mission and in theory, it is supposed to be fulfilling kind of social justice aims and social progress and kind of global solidarity, but also just as a privileged, well-endowed university in this region, it kind of has a unique responsibility to be at the forefront of thinking about our greatest challenges and what to do about them.